Hello, welcome everybody to day 14, Genesis 14. Today we're reading Lot's captivity and rescue. And it came to pass, in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Ariosh, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that they made war with Bera, king of Sodom, Bersha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Adamah, Shember, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zor. All these joined together in the valley of Sodom, that is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer, and in the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer and the kings that were with him came and attacked the Rephaim in Ashtaroth Kamem, the Zuzim in Ham, the Emim in Shaveh, Kiriathaim, and the Horites in their mountain of Sur, as far as El Paran, which is by the wilderness. Then they turned back and came to On Mishpat, that is Kadesh, and attacked all the country of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites, who dwelt in Hazazon Tamar, and the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zor, went out and joined together in battle in the valley of Siddim, against Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, Tidal, king of nations, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Ariosh, king of Elasar, 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of asphalt pits, and the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled. Some fell there, and the remainder fled to the mountains. Then they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their provisions, and went their way. They also took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Then one who had escaped came and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt by the terebinth trees of Mamre, the Amorites, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner, and they were allies with Abram. Now, when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his 318 trained servants who were born in his own house, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. He divided his forces against them by night, and he and his servants attacked them and pursued them as far as Hobah, which is in north of Damascus. So he brought back all the goods, and also brought back his brother Lot and his goods, all as well as the woman and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him at the valley of Shevev, that is the king's valley, after his return from the defeat of Chedorlaomer, and the kings who were with him, Abram and Melchizedek. Then Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought about bread and wine. He was the priest of God Most High, and he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of God Most High, professor of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand. And he gave him a tenth of all. Now the king of Sodom said to Abram, Give me the persons, and take the goods for yourself. But Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have raised my hand to the Lord, God Most High, the professor of heaven and earth, that I will take nothing from a thread to a sandal strap, and that I will not take anything that is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abraham rich, except only what the youngest men have eaten, and the portions of the men who went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre. Let them take your portion. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. Here's a short little lesson, and here's what the story was about. Genesis 14 is a war chapter. A coalition of 4 eastern kings goes to battle against 5 kings of the plain, including the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah, who had rebelled after years of paying tribute. The 4 kings win, plundering Sodom and Gomorrah and critically taking Lot captive along with his possessions, since he'd been living there. When Abram hears his nephew has been captured, he arms 318 of his own trained men, pursues the invading kings, and defeats them in surprise night attack, rescuing Lot and the other captives and all the plundered goods. On his way back, Abram is met by two very different figures. The king of Sodom, who offers Abram the recovered goods, which Abram refuses to take, not wanting Sodom to claim credit for his wealth, and Melchizedek, a mysterious king and priest of God Most High, who blesses Abram and brings out bread and wine. Abram gives Melchizedek a tenth of everything. A tithe. That's what tithe means in response. The lesson you can learn from this chapter is that loyalty and courage. Abram risked everything for family, even though Lot had chosen to live near Sodom and effectively separate from him. It's also a chapter about integrity and victory. Abram refuses to profit personally from the rescue, wanting it clear that his belongings come from God, not from the king of Sodom. And Melchizedek's brief appearance and significance. Many readers see him as a foreshadowing figure pointing towards later ideas about priesthood and kingship combined in one person. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. See you tomorrow.